introduce the rest of yourselves, please?
David Allen Graf. I produced it, played the main guy.
And I'm Raphael Maman, and I produced the film, one of the producers.
Okay, great. So I'll ask you guys same question, of course. How did this project begin?
It started with David and I worked on a couple of projects before, and he told me that there will be a way to get funding if there is a script that he will like. So I started to send him couples, and eventually Focal Point, which was written from a dream, like maybe a few nights before, which he liked, and that's how the movie started.
Okay, and what was it about that story that interested you so much?
It was a mixture of a couple of stories that fixed together, if that makes sense. Because I wrote also a sci-fi feature, which there's a lot of world building element into it, and then eventually the story evolved into something different, and then I was tailoring the story to David's character as an actor as well.
And how did you find this your lead?
From the beginning, since he was involved in this talk.
Oh, right, okay.
No question about it, I guess.
That's great. And as the lead, you spend a lot of time on your own and isolated. Is that challenging as an actor to really just work with yourself?
Yeah, I mean, when you know the story and you find the truth in this character and we're all trying to survive, I mean, for me, it just became a question of survival. He really didn't have much of a social life. I mean, he did in the other world when he had his son and he had a sense of connection, but now he's just working and he's talking to an AI machine that gives him, that's a social life, that's who he talks to. So it's kind of, I don't want to say it's ironic, but it's just sort of funny how, he goes, he sets up this mock social world for him and he does these things just to keep him enthusiastic, to keep him working and, making this product for the government company.
Right. I wanted to ask, the visual aesthetic of this is so grainy and so vintage, but it's also set in the future. Why go with an aesthetic that's recalls films of the 60s and 70s?
First of all, because it's easier. When you want to look at the future, the only thing you can do is looking at the past and how you can go backward as well. Because most people think that it's only progress, but actually a lot of civilization just fell apart. Or sometimes just, were kind of static for a while. So, and I don't know, there were a feel to it with the mix of brutalist architecture like you find in LA, but it was quite working, I thought, with 50s, 60s tools and production design.
And how did you come up with the props, costumes, production design? Was that something that you had a really vivid idea for, or did you, was it a lot of collaboration with those departments?
Yeah, it's mainly collaboration.
Okay.
And doing research. Again, back in history, and then really finding an angle, because the problem with sci-fi is you have to build almost everything from scratch, and everything should be there for a reason, otherwise it kind of falls apart if it doesn't look right. But yeah, it was mainly having the discussion with the DP, production designer, a lot of with costumes, and also finding the right location that will
I just want to say, I think that, costume in this movie was like a character in itself, so the colors are muted, sort of mundane. You're not going to see any bright, flashy suits in this movie, Wealth is, people are just sort of going through things, so it's not, so I think the designers really came up with some really good stuff, this is a prominent scientist, and he wears this long robe, and it's not really a flashy color, so I think it's a character in the movie that sort of mirrors the world in which he's in at that time.
Right. As a producer, how do you go about building the best team?
Well, a lot of recommendations, watching the things that we liked, that we knew were accessible to us, a lot of research, And then the main focus was the references that people would talk to and the passion they would put into it, because we knew it would be something difficult to execute on a restrained budget compared to the ambition of what we were doing. So I guess the very first quality you needed to have was to be passionate about it and have a little bit of taste.
Yeah, definitely. And did you bring a lot of people on that you had worked with before, or were these all fresh faces for you?
Well, I think all of the producers, we were 3-4 main producers on this picture, plus a lot of associate producers. I think at least one of us had worked with every element who was key to the project, more or less, and that's how we got the whole crew we got. And we had done a lot of films together before. Rafa and I were in college together, in film school together, and so we had a recurring base of people we were working with.
Okay. And how do you said that there were 4 producers and several associate producers. How do you divide the labor between those different people?
It's a good question. Sometimes it's a mess, but it's based on the resources we had. Basically, each one of us had a lead on different things, and then we decided to divide it on location equipment, costume, production design, and then see who can do what. And then obviously we were a team, so whenever someone needed something in a different department, we would help out. But yeah, it's a lot of planning ahead, and then a lot of persistence.
Yeah, certainly. There's a lot of like large scale imagery, like sets, exteriors, like this incredibly impressive imagery. How did you get that? How did you get that?
So yeah, it's a mix. It was like mostly like scouting around LA. We shot also in Malibu and close to Vegas as well, where you have those like solar panel fields. Like one of the biggest in the world. I think China just topped.
Prim Valley.
So it was really the key was to find kind of the same approach to her, even though they shot it in different countries as well.
Yeah.
But to really find that architecture would fit to what we were trying to build, and then enhance it with VFX and composite.
Okay. Yeah, so there was a lot of VFX in this. A lot. How do you come up with that imagery between you and the VFX supervisor?
So it's a guy I'm shooting a feature with, so it was more like a mentor. And he was kind of teaching me the way to do, again, composite from play that we have, because we shot a lot of buildings, shots of buildings like in downtown, then bringing them together. We also use AI tools also, and just some regular like VFX tools as well.
Wow, fascinating.
Also, that's the thing, like it was a big question because I know some people with AI are kind of, and I understand as well, but considering the scale and the work we're doing with the money that we had, and also it's very much a movie about AI, I thought it was the best thing to do is to use also AI. Like the voice that you hear that he's talking to is also AI. At first we wanted to have like a real actor, but I was like, no, that makes more sense, but now everything is becoming harder to, the instinct was real, not to just use like a fake person, if that makes sense. But most of the background actors, we hired like maybe 50 different actors in the film, so we weren't like necessarily replacing anyone in the process.
One of those actors is a guy named Art Roberts. Remember him?
Yes. Yeah.
He was in my second movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's got like 200 credits. It's crazy.
Very intense.
Yeah, he's nuts. Great guy though. Okay. Anyway, last question for you guys. Was there something specific that you learned along the way with this film specifically, or each individually? I'd like to know.
Wow. Don't shoot in the desert.
Can I ask why?
Because on this specific day, it was a heat wave, and it was very difficult. No, but more seriously.
But it worked for the movie because
It worked.
it's a futuristic world where we have global warming and parts of the planet are uninhabitable. So that kind of heat and that actually just for me as an actor worked really well.
No, more specifically, I would say it's it's stupid to say that, but it's to trust the process, because every day it seems like it's going to be impossible, and it works. So just get prepared, believe in everyone around you, and just do it, and that's it.
Okay, and for you?
Oh, I just want to say that I'm personally grateful for the crew. We had a great cinematographer, a great first AD. I mean, it seems like everyone worked together like this is a big budgeted feature for me, and when I see it on the screen, it really looks nice. And I'm just blessed that I was able to put something together with my funds and get such great people, you know. And the two Raphaels here are, you know, really made this movie happen.
And was there something you learned?
Oh,
Yeah, too many things, but again, yeah, I think it's like you said, like really like having the best producer, you're also having fun making movies. That's the key, I think.
Yeah. Any questions from the audience? Anybody want to be bold enough to raise their hand and ask a question? Yeah, go ahead.
What part of the movie was the most challenging or like interesting to find the flow of when you were?
In terms of editing, you mean, or?
Yeah.
I think the montage sequence, like during the routine and stuff, trying to build a world in the most, like, in a timely manner, obviously, but also saying a lot for kind of each shot, getting all the fat, I guess, from it.
I mean, having seen earlier cuts, well, a lot of cuts of this film, I think it's also difficult at first to place everything around when you don't have all the VFX done. And that's a big challenge, to find sometimes the emotional cues or transition cues without having the finished VFX product. But I think it's getting better with the new tools we have. So it's certainly something that's changing. It allows you to have a previs that's quick and efficient earlier than you would do before.
Any additional questions? Yes, go ahead.
You know how they say there's the movie that lives in your head, the movie that you write, the movie that you shoot, or the movie that you write it? I am curious to know if you feel if there was a certain stage of the project where you really felt like putting together, or like you mentioned putting a lot of that. Like, is this the movie you wrote, or do you think they're really just kind of added all the lights?
Yeah, no, it's quite different. I mean, it was a bit longer. It was more like, right now it's like 22 minutes, and originally it was like 30 pages, so usually equals to a minute is like 1 page. So yeah, I mean, there were some stuff that we didn't cut any like major scene. It was more like sharpening everything to cut any. It was at first like the first cuts were more contemplative, which didn't really work also for sure. Like, why would you do that? So it was more matter of like, making everything tight, but still trying to build a world that kind of makes sense, even though it's still mysterious and you're not supposed to understand everything. I guess it's too short as well.
It's the movie we read, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, before everybody leaves, I want to say I have some awards to call out for a really good deal. There's a Filmmakers Award for Outstanding Film in the Horror Genre. Film, please. Is That a Mirage? Is the Filmmakers Award for Outstanding Film and Outstanding Originality in the Art House genre. Then Focal Point is the winner of Best in Fest, Best Featurette.
Which means for our 10th anniversary, all the awards after the festival, you get an opportunity to purchase a trophy. We can't afford to buy everyone a trophy. But for Best in Fest, we just give Best in Fest Short, Featurette, and Feature, just 3 awards. So we had a local artist who makes beautiful things make this. This is the Poppy. It's golden popcorn. It's actually polyurethane, and you can pop the top up and store stuff in it. But Focal Point was far and away, we consider anything over 20 minutes a featurette, so that a 22 to 47-minute film doesn't compete with a 9-minute film. Focal Point was a unanimous choice. So, sir,
Thank you.
This is your pop.
You're welcome.
And I also want to mention that 3 years running, you've had a film in this festival.
Yeah.
You were in Sherman Oaks Film Festival 2023, 2024, 2025. Each time you come back with something more ambitious and more accomplished, which I think says a lot, because sometimes people shoot higher and don't do better. Every time you're shooting higher and you're just, you know, nothing against the other two films, but you are really just, it's amazing. I expect the next one's going to be a feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have the talent to do it. So congratulations.
Yeah, thanks so much.
And amazing performance.
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you.
so there you go.
Thank you guys
All right.
very much. Have a good night.